Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Ron Corning with FWD DFW together with the Dallas Morning News. And this is becoming, for me, I guess, an annual event. For the second time, I'm part of letting you know about the United Way's efforts to really unite with members of the community through organizations that are really making such an incredible difference. So this is a big event. It's called The Pitch. It's on Wednesday, April 6th. It is essentially, this is my description, Shark Tank for nonprofits. Organizations have an opportunity to pitch their project. The 5 finalists are on standby with us today. They're going to share with us what their organizations do and how United Way is changing the way in which they reach the community. Ann Montgomery is here from United Way of Metropolitan Dallas. And we were saying, I can't believe it's been a year since we saw another esteemed group of 5 finalists come forward with some remarkable programs. What is it about this year and these finalists that really stands out to you?
Every year is so exciting with our accelerator and our pitch. And these finalists are just incredible. The work that they do in education, income, and health, really tackling these pervasive problems in new, interesting, and game-changing ways. I'm really proud of these 5 finalists just for the breadth of their experience, for the depth of their experience, and for their passion and commitment to these causes.
This is a $250,000 award. Is that awarded in cash that they're then able to spend with your guidance?
It is awarded as a grant. So they are able to use the prizes that they win however they best see fit. And that's one of the things about this program, the Social Innovation Accelerator. One of the 3 pillars that we work on is just giving financial capital and trusting that these organizations know the best ways to leverage that capital to improve and scale their organizations.
Well, and next year, this is my second year to preview the event here. It is going to be next year, your 10th year anniversary. So over that course of almost a decade, what are you seeing as a result in terms of how this money is spent and how these organizations have really been able to meet their goals and ambitions by having you as a partner?
Yeah, I think that through this program, we've really seen these organizations are already doing incredible, impactful work in the community. But what they do after this program with the learnings that they take and then with the financial capital that they win is they're able to scale and meet much higher demands, able to serve many more people and go on and leverage that to raise about 5 times the amount of money
It's really incredible. And I know I've made the analogy with Shark Tank, but it really is true. You take a great business and you combine that with another great brand like Barbara Corcoran or Mark Cuban, and you see they're able to scale it up and they're able to overcome some of the hurdles that alone they were not. And you provide, in addition to this financial award, what you call human capital. That's expert instruction, one-on-one mentoring, social capital with your network of visibility. So it's sort of, again, like Shark Tank. You may not win the ultimate prize, but the exposure you get just from being part of it really helps in brand awareness and the community understanding what these organizations are.
Exactly. And we see that every year at the pitch. You come out with maybe 1 or 2 people who win the bulk of the prizes, but then after that, we hear these amazing stories of funders who attended the pitch who were so impressed with someone maybe who didn't win the grand prize, but they end up getting an even bigger prize afterwards in terms of the donations that they solicit.
And there's a lot of energy in that. There's a lot of energy in that room. Last year, not so much. It was a virtual event, but the goal this year is to have these folks come out and with their heart and with their soul pitch all of you and get that $250,000 prize. And in fact, the 5 finalists joining us will offer us up their own 15-second pitch on who they are, what they do, when we come back here in just a moment. Stay with us. The United Way wants to thank these sponsors for supporting the pitch. And if you want to support the United Way, visit unitedwaydallas.org. All right, we are back with more on the pitch coming up on Wednesday, April 6th, with United Way hearing from organizations, top 5, their selection of top 5 candidates for prize money totaling $250,000. Now, just to clarify, that's the total amount of prize money given out to all of these organizations in various ways, and we're going to talk to them about how they'll use that money. Here they are, ladies and gentlemen, the 5 finalists for this year's event. It's good to see all of you. Thank you. And the instructions are this. I know we talked about this before air, and that is each of you has 15 seconds to sort of pitch us a version of what you'll pitch on April 6th. So here we go. We are starting out here with Shakimberly and Jermaine Cooper of AES Literacy. Go.
At AES, we help individuals 17 and older that didn't complete high school. We offer a 3 to 6 month program that allows students to earn their high school equivalency diploma. We then help those students continue their education or find a living wage job.
Jermaine, you get 5 seconds.
No worries. No worries. She did great. No worries.
All right. The artist outreach. We're joined by Joseph Vincelli. Joseph, go ahead.
Hi, Ron. The Artist Outreach is an education-based organization that uses music and the arts to help improve students' academic performances. We use things like teaching drum techniques to help with their speech patterns, which leads to better reading skills. We start as early as pre-K and work primarily from pre-K through grade 2.
Amazing. Jennifer Searles with Veritas Impact Partners, you're up.
Veritas Impact Partners is serving working families living paycheck to paycheck, and we're bringing them free telehealth services. That means that every family gets free access to primary care services, and we're doing all of this in their living room. With a diverse multilingual team, we're able to build trusted relationships and crush the health access barriers that face so many of our working families.
Yeah. You all are crushing a lot of different barriers in your own way. I know that. Shelley Ross with Wesley Rankin Community Center. Tell us more about what you do.
Yeah, we're offering the Aspiring Professionals program. It's a high school pre-apprenticeship program designed to increase the living wage for students and families. And it's really grounded in 4 components: technical skills, soft skills with mentors in the professional fields. We offer stipends along with financial literacy, and last but not least, parent education.
Finally here, Shireen Abdullah with Yumlish. Tell us what your work is about.
Yes, Ron. So the work that we're doing is really focused on bridging gaps in health equity. What we do at Yumlish is we provide culturally competent nutrition education focused largely on our local Hispanic community with diabetes, with pre-diabetes, and really work to bridge gaps in addressing socioeconomic barriers to dietary adherence.
Jennifer, let me ask you, as you hear all of these pitches, have you heard these pitches before in getting to the top 5? And do you know all of these folks who are here?
I certainly do know all of these folks. And I will tell you, on demo day, it was a scary experience to see these professionals get up and do their thing. Each of these finalists have incredible innovation and an ability to share a story about the needs in our community and solutions that they're bringing in just really unique ways. So it's an honor to be on this panel with each of them, and can't wait to get to April 6th.
So Joseph, I'm curious to know, being in the company of others who are as impassioned and as on point with their various missions, and I know there's some overlap with each of your organizations, do you find yourself looking at them and thinking being in good company will help me be better in what I do?
Oh, for sure. I mean, the fun thing is you see different people in education like us, and we see opportunities for partnership down the road. So it's really exciting in that part. And the United Way has been extremely supportive in helping us find opportunities for partnerships and obviously eventually for funding.
Yeah, Jermaine, I want to ask you, this is a $60,000 prize for, I even hate to say the winner, but that's the most amount of funding that will go to any one of the organizations, $25,000 to each of the other 4 of the top 5. And then the additional funds will be divvied up based on any number of criteria broken down by various categories. So Jermaine, I'm curious to know, when you hear everything here and you hear all of these other pitches, where do you feel like you stand out the most?
We stand out the most as far as being close to the people. So as far as in leading our education and reaching the people on the red line, we look like the people, so we are the people.
Is there anybody here who would like to say they're closer to the people? Shireen.
We're also closer to the people.
You all are going to have a race to the people. But isn't that really part of it? I want to ask. Let me see here. My eyes are going, Shelley. Shelley's got the glasses that I need. All right, Shelley Ross. Let me ask you, being in the company of these folks, what's your takeaway been so far about how you can better yourself and be as close to the people?
Yeah, well, Wesley Rankin's been around for 85 years, so we definitely have the history with the people, and we hope we're close to the people. I think when it comes to this process, it's the collaboration. You know, the world literally has changed so much in the last 2 years, definitely in the last 50 years. Mm-hmm. And we've walked away here with new partners that are offering tracks in our program. I've even talked to Joseph about grant writing before. And Jennifer talking about the last pitch. I mean, I know it's a competition, but it felt like we were among friends in that room. We were cheering each other on. So it feels like we've made lifelong friends here in partnerships. And I think that's so valuable.
Yeah, it's competition really in the best way, isn't it? Let's talk about how the money will be spent. Joseph, even if it's not the top prize, any amount of funding, where is your most important focus moving forward in this next year?
Well, $60,000 will allow us 2,200 students to be served. And so, you know, whether we win that prize or a smaller prize or maybe a larger prize, all of it's going to be going to the programs. We have several schools that are in the queue wanting our program. And so this just allows us to fill some of those gaps.
Yeah, so the demand is there. Kimberly,
sure.
How would you spend that top prize money?
All funding, we go to educating one more North Texan. So we are really ready to educate the people. And a lot of our people are already in poverty and suffer from the social economic consequences of failing to graduate high school. So being able to educate them so that they can begin a new journey in life by continuing education or getting that good job so they can become financially stable. So we're going to take that money and try to get some return on investment by investing in the people that need that education.
Yeah, and also I think lifting the stigma around this notion that to graduate outside of, you know, that typical graduation age is not something to be ashamed of, right? There's a stigma that comes with that. Yeah. Jennifer, you're up. What would you do with the funding?
For us, it's absolute growth capital. We're currently scaling, serving more than 6,000 households and 20,000 individuals now. And if we win the top prize or any prize, it's going to go to immediately scaling to serve another 15 to 3,000 households.
Boy, it's remarkable. I mean, you all have the numbers. That's part of what makes you a finalist, is that you know where the dollars go and how they can be spent. Shireen, you'd spend the prize money how?
Yeah, so for us, it's the same thing. It's reaching our program, putting it out there. We do a lot of work with federally qualified health centers here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and it's really growing our footprint across these federally qualified health centers to provide care to our patients virtually in their homes, and just being able to provide this culturally competent care that we have. Our curriculums are approved by the CDC, the American Diabetes Association. So it's really about getting this out to the community, to the people, largely of Hispanic origin, and really being able to do something about the silent epidemic that is diabetes that has been rampant throughout, but really within COVID.
Yeah, exactly. During COVID, especially, I think it shined a spotlight on it, and really more people than ever found themselves having to contend with it. Wesley Rankin Community Center, Shelley Ross, the $60,000, you'd spend it how?
Scalability. I think that's the big answer right now. Not only to increase and have more kids participate, but I'd love to be able to deepen the program too. It'd be great to just have someone focusing on the mentor component or the parent component to make sure that all those gaps are being caught as we go.
Well, you know, it would not be an enviable place to be, to have to figure out among all of you who gets the top prize money and really break it down in that way. So we'll leave that up to the United Way. Thank you all, and congratulations on your success to this point and for being such a united part of the community. We're going to wrap it up here in just a moment, but first this. You can join the United Way and the Pitch virtually on April 6th. To reserve your spot, just visit unitedwaydallas.org/thepitch. All right, we are back and wrapping things up with Ann Montgomery from the United Way of Metropolitan Dallas. You were hearing our conversation, listening in. I know it's not the first time you've heard these pitches, but it occurred to me as I'm listening to them, the process that you've put them through to get to this point has probably allowed them to be even more articulate and on point with their mission and their passion. So even if they don't win the top prize money, they can better communicate to others what they do, right?
Right. That's part of the goal. And it's so amazing to see just the progress that these fellows experience across the year-long program.
And you've seen that.
And I've seen it starting from last May when they first pitched to even get into the program.
So you've seen these contestants here improve markedly over the last year. What have you seen with those who've been awarded the prize money in past years? Like specifics, generalizations, themes that have emerged. What comes to mind when I say to you success stories?
Yeah, there are too many to talk about here, but just to name a few, I mean, Cafe Momentum was actually our very first fellow in the accelerator.
Love that place.
Which is amazing. And they are spreading nationally. Just this year, they announced that they're going to open in several different cities across the U.S.
And for people who don't know, it's in downtown Dallas. It's a restaurant, and they take youth at risk, some of whom have even been imprisoned, and they help them find a home and a work culture and an environment in the restaurant industry,
In the restaurant industry,
Yeah.
they hire ex-juvenile offenders to work in the restaurant, be it in the kitchen. And it's a really amazing experience because I think it helps these kids see a second chance and to see that they have a place.
And the rate of recidivism or going back to prison has dropped significantly among the young people who've been part of Cafe Momentum.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anything else? Maybe not as broadly known as Cafe Momentum, but equally as successful.
Well, kind of in the same vein, working with ex-offenders, Cornbread Hustle was our winner last year of Social Innovator of the Year, along with other prizes at the pitch. And she offers second chances to folks who were recently incarcerated by pairing them with job offerings in different industries. And she continues to grow and scale like crazy.
We should say that this is just one example of what's a new, I don't know how much of it's not a new mission, but I think it speaks to people in a new way who are maybe learning about the United Way for the first time. It speaks to them differently about how you do work in the community. And that is sort of creating this network of paying it forward and helping fund and helping foster others who can carry on your mission without being actually part of the United Way. It's giving in your own way.
Yeah, I think it surprises a lot of people that we're a 100-year-old institution here in Dallas, but we believe that new challenges and for these pervasive challenges, we need new people and new ideas to tackle them. So social innovation is really just how we work at United Way across the board. And what we're talking about today is one program. There are so many other programs that we do that work in this way. We just launched an incubator, and that's specifically for earlier stage entrepreneurs who are women and people of color, because we saw a gap in the services offered to capacity building programs.
I think there's something to be said too about attaching the descriptor entrepreneurs to this group of people, building the systems and the mechanisms of a business that can be as efficient and as successful as some of the best known brands that we as consumers use in other ways for profit.
The definition we use for social innovation, I believe, comes from Stanford, and it's to find a solution that's more just, efficient, economical than what exists already. And so all of these entrepreneurs are people who have worked in these fields for a long time, seen a gap in the services that exist, and have come up with a solution to that gap. And so our goal as United Way is to help them scale and grow because they already know the issue, know the solution. They just need help to grow.
I'm sure you see this every day demonstrated in different ways, but I experience it when I do a segment like this. And that is, on the one hand, it brings to light the gaps that exist that probably shouldn't. Gaps in healthcare, gaps in education, gaps in programs to help young people who are marginalized because they just happen to be born in one neighborhood and not another, or into one particular socioeconomic group or not another. And at the same time, it's heartwarming and uplifting to know that there are others there to carry the load.
Absolutely.
Right? How do you reconcile those two things?
It's tough. And I know that, part of our work as United Way is to not only support those who see solutions to these problems, but it's also to do the policy work and some of the background work to say that these problems shouldn't exist. These gaps in services shouldn't exist. And we need more structural changes that prevent these gaps even existing in the first place.
That's such a good way to put it. And to know, again, while these folks are out there working to close the gap and be part of the community, you're working too behind the scenes in other ways to change the policies that have led to this in the first place. Ann Montgomery of United Way of Metropolitan Dallas, we appreciate it. And we are going to be there hoping for the best April 6th, the pitch. That is Wednesday, April 6th. Thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm Ron Corning, together with the Dallas Morning News, FWD DFW. We will see you next time.